So I'm very happy to present to you this evening the key messages from the Asia-Pacific session on water security, titled Successfully Managing Asia's Transitions to Achieve Food and Nutrition Security for All and Build Vibrant Rural Communities in a Water Secure and Prosperous Asia-Pacific Region. It's a long title, but that's our program. So, sorry. Actually, the session was co-organized by FAO, the Malaysia National Committee for SEID, ADB, ICIMOD, Global Water Partnership, different chapters, South Asia, Southeast Asia, China, and Central Asia, and then ICID. So what was the roadmap to this session from World Water Forum 6? So there in Marseille, we worked with ESCAP, and our regional session was on water economic and food security and green growth. And with this is when we started talking about managing transitions in the region, that we had to capture the dynamics that Salma was just mentioning. Then we had the second Asia-Pacific Water Summit in Chiang Mai, where we also with ESCAP had a focus area session on water, economic and food security, where we focus on the type of investments really to boost resilience and productivity of our ecosystems for agriculture, fisheries, livestock, and so on, all the water-related food production areas. In 2014, we had the FAO Asia-Pacific Regional Conference, which is our governing body, where our member countries, which are all the governments, agreed that meeting farmers' aspirations in the context of green development was essential. So they said that we needed to focus on farmer and rural prosperity while taking care of the sustainability of the natural resource space. And they urged FAO and partners to assist them in mapping roadmaps for agricultural transitions and green growth. Then in preparation for this session, then we organized the e-conference on water and food security, where we had issue papers. We had long discussions where basically there was some sort of agreement on what the key messages should be, and then it added a lot of other issues then that we took into account. So maybe I will skip this, but we had a very interesting session with key messages on water and food security from all the four sub-regions, South Asia, Southeast Asia, China, and Central Asia. Then we had a discussion on the diversity and commonality of problems between these sub-regions. Then I presented the key proposals. I put on the table key elements of the action plan for water security, so key messages and a vision, which were consolidated into a white paper, this white paper. And this is what we put on the table. And for your information now, the white paper is available outside, so if there's a coffee break, I hope there's a coffee break, you can get your copy. Then we had a debate, and basically what happened was that the session endorsed the key messages and key areas for action that were proposed in the document. So there was a consensus that these should be what I'm presenting. These should be the key messages from this session. Then we had a panel representative of innovative solutions that reflects the different areas for action. And really the region is rich in innovative experiences. So, and we had to highlight this. And we had very impressive presentations. Okay, so the context, of course, has already been mentioned, I guess, by many speakers. So I will focus on the fact that there are still 530 million hungry people in Asia. So it's a blot on the Asian miracle. That's something that really needs to be addressed. Also, rural poverty. So agricultural share of GDP is declining rapidly in all countries, but still dominating employment in many developing countries is dominated by very small farms. We have a dynamic agricultural sector, but with rising productivity that meets the demands of the market, but still significant productivity gaps. We have feminization of agriculture, that's very important. Agriculture employs more women than men in many countries. And very fundamentally, we really have dynamic, diversifying rural livelihoods. So the link between agriculture and food security for these livelihoods is less and less tenuous. It's still very important for many, though, and we have to take them into account. The natural water resources base, of course, has been mentioned already. So if there's anything I'd like to change to this white paper, it's this cracking the code. It sounds very good, but it gives the impression it's a complex mathematical formula that you need to solve, and then once you have solved it, you have a roadmap and everything is fine. It's not at all like this. Things are changing all the time. The trends, many of them we cannot handle. Things are happening. People are not behaving as we expect. We have to adjust our thinking all the time. So it's not the case that we crack the code and until 2030 we know what we have to do. But so for us, the fundamental issue for the region is that we have to manage simultaneously two transitions. A structural transformation of agriculture related to economic development, a transition to sustainable agriculture, which is very necessary for sustainability. We have to take into account that the fact that farmers now have the same aspirations as everybody else, and their children too. And we have to meet these aspirations if we expect them to grow the food that we need. So the challenge for decision makers and stakeholders is managing both transitions at the same time. You cannot just say, oh, sustainability or growth. You have to manage both at the same time, meeting the aspirations on farming and rural communities. So understanding and anticipating rural dynamics will be key. So all the decisions, in our view, on, related to water and food security and key policy options and critical details will really require clarity on major socioeconomic orientations and social preferences of the different countries. That's their choice, related to the changes in agricultural sector within the overall transformation of the national economies and the transition to green growth. So actually many things have been happening in the region since 2012 in this. We had China adopting a new policy of family farms with much larger efficient farms. Vietnam has adopted a new rural development policy and agricultural restructuring policy, also targeted at farmer incomes. Malaysia has a new model for water use associations, where the objective is that farmers should have the same income as all the other sectors, by 2020. So many things are happening in the way that we are suggesting. Investing in agriculture still remains important in many developing countries. A dynamic agricultural sector raises labor productivity in the rural economy, pulls up wages, and gradually eliminates the worst dimensions of absolute poverty. But we've reached a stage where the income gap is such that it needs to be addressed by policymakers. So the issue then is to develop a set of coherent, effective, and feasible set of policies, strategies, and interventions, explicitly addressing a number of policy dilemmas that have to do with managing trade-offs in water, understanding where we want farmers to go, where farmers want to go. And I will not have time to this, but these were messages from Marseille that have been confirmed here. So we came up with the idea that we need a proposed new vision for water that and food security for the region that captures this. And so the proposal was food and nutrition security for all and vibrant rural communities in a water-secure Asia-Pacific through managing the region's multiple social and economic transitions equitably and sustainably. So this was the kind of key message that was adopted by the session. So food and nutrition security for all, so that's one of the SDG targets. Vibrant rural communities captures really the focus on rural prosperity, and Korean government messages were very important for this. Water secure Asia Pacific, we need agriculture to contribute to water security by being more productive and less polluting, and then managing the region's multiple social and economic transitions equitably and sustainably. That's maybe an issue and challenge for implementation or something like that. So that will be my final slide. We agree that countries really need to invest and provide an enabling environment for farmers, civil society, and the private sector to invest in kind of 6 key action areas that are seen as levers to accelerate reaching the vision. The first one, which is really a fundamental need, implementing sound and innovative water accounting and auditing to support decision-making and management. Really, a lot of investments go to waste, or we have wrong expectations if we want to manage water scarcity. Countries need to evolve risk management strategies for national food security policies under water constraints and economic transition. And this should really, we think that their countries really need to get a comprehensive policy dialogues with the farmers and all stakeholders to say, okay, where is farming going so that we can make a roadmap? We need to adapt agricultural rural water management governance, dealing with the water demand, multiple use systems, and providing water also for rural economic development, not just food. We need to support investments boosting ecosystem and water productivity, maintaining water quality. Water quality is very important across agriculture, fisheries, aquaculture, irrigation and drainage, recognizes multiple services and the supply chains, and supporting rural transformation. Then the nexus, I think many people will talk about it, but it's a critical issue. And capacity development, including for local stakeholders, their capacity to participate in policy debates, women and the youth. So for the SDGs, the conclusion was that we have to consider several SDG targets at the same time: social, economic, and environmental. And not just say, oh, I'm going to do water and food or disaster or something like that, so that you develop these details of policy. And then one final consideration and one SDG target, which is increasing smallholder farmers' incomes by doubling farmers' incomes by 2030. This is not good enough for Asia. We have to aim much higher. Thank you.